The following live stream may include adult language and themes. How could we know for sure? It hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised. We've had kind of a tumultuous evening getting things off and running, but you know what? That's okay because it's just going to stand in stark juxtaposition to the vibe we are going to create together here with this lovely game that we are going to be sharing with you all for track 3. If you're unfamiliar with what Tabletop Turntable is all about, we like to spin different games with different GMs, different players, different systems, and kind of just show you some different stuff that's out there, because while we all love the D&D, there is an awful lot of actual play Dungeons & Dragons content, and there are so many other TTRPGs out there worth exploring. And what we will be exploring on this track is Wanderhome by J. Dragon. If you are unfamiliar, Wanderhome is a super pastoral, cozy game. And I am so excited to play with you all and to show everybody. And so to start things off, we're going to introduce ourselves. And we did this during our session 0, and you've had ample time since then to reflect and ruminate. But I want to know what your favorite anthropomorphic animal is. And because of the grinning and the giggling, I'm going to start with you, Anthony. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anthony Johnson. I'm very excited to join this wonderful group and play Wanderhome. I am newer to the world of TTRPGs, so I'm excited to be under the wings of Michael and crew. I love role-playing games. I'm playing Dragon Age Veilguard, which I know some people love, some people don't, but I'm enjoying it.
No hate here. No hate here.
I but some people are only again. But I love a good RPG, and so I'm excited to join this crew on this. My favorite anthropomorphic cartoon animated character is Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think he's just a wily little character, and I love him very much.
I probably didn't pick up, but all right. Excellent. Welcome in, Anthony. We're excited to play. Next, let's take it to another. No, we'll do a back and forth. We'll go to a seasoned member of the Grimstone crew, James.
Oh,
Introduce yourself. Tell us what your favorite anthropomorphic animal is.
hi. I'm James. I've been in all of these so far. My favorite anthropomorphic animal character, we'll go with Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective, as played by the immortal Vincent Price. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm playing Metaphor Refantasio right now, so I'm also playing an RPG video game. That's all I got.
Lovely. All right.
Yeah.
Taking it to one of our other newcomers, Caleb. Introduce yourself and tell us what your favorite anthropomorphic animal is.
All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Caleb. I'm not like super new to the world of tabletop gaming, but I'm also not a seasoned veteran like some of the others. My favorite anthropomorphic animal is probably, I've decided Shadow the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Even though he's not technically a hedgehog, he's an alien, technically. But I'm going with
Still
Shadow.
counts.
Who gets hung up on these kinds of minute details? Not me.
I'm just saying, because somebody would say something. I'm like, had to put
Could
it
it
out
be an
there.
anthropomorphic animal?
You absolutely did get hung up on it when I wanted to pick Gur.
He's a robot.
See,
Dressed like
that's
a
why I-
dog.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a firearm, and really, that's the difference.
All right. Well, since little Miss Thing wanted to get some attention, we'll take it to our other Grimstone veteran. Meg, introduce yourself and tell us what your favorite anthropomorphic animal is, knowing that I can't really argue in this setting because we're live.
Hi, I'm Meg. I have also been in all of these so far, although I'm starting to regret it. Um, I'm gonna stick with Gus from Cinderella. He's just the cutest, and he just wants to help Cinderella go to the ball.
Gus is a solid mouse through and through. He's like the Samwise of Cinderella.
Right.
I'd go that far, but let's watch it again and see if I can write a dissertation on it in my head.
Okay.
I want to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy again and just
Done.
envision Samwise going, Gus the whole time.
Stabs him.
All right.
Frodo, Gus.
What? Share the love.
Yeah, that's
That's a fantastic. That's going to be a fantastic clip right there. I can already tell. I love it. I love it. All right. Finish us off with another Grimstone newbie, Emily.
Hello, I'm Emily. My favorite anthropomorphic animal has changed since the last time, and I have two. I have to say that frog and toad are my favorites.
Really hard to argue with Frog and Toad.
Yeah, they're pretty cozy, but can also be pretty spooky sometimes, especially if you went on that old Disney World ride.
Oh my god, I
where they
love
go to
that
hell.
ride.
That's terrifying. Oh my god.
I love
Toad's
that
Wild
ride.
Ride.
I was so upset when they replaced it at Disney
But they
World.
replaced it with Winnie the
I
Pooh.
know, and I love Winnie the Pooh too, but damn,
Yeah.
that ride was so good.
The Wind of the
I'm also
Willows
not
is
super
insane.
new at
The Wind of the
TTRPGs.
Willows is insane. Yeah. Sorry,
What is?
The Wind in the Willows. The Wind in the Willows is
Oh.
insane. Yeah.
Yes. I'm also not super new with TTRPGs, but it is my first playing with no dice.
Ah, yes. And what an excellent moment to segue and talk a little bit about Wanderhome itself. Wanderhome is a diceless TTRPG. It is also heralded as a masterless TTRPG in that it does not have a traditional game master as Dungeons and Dragons and so many other TTRPGs do. What it offers, though, if you read through the guidebook, is somebody can be a guide. You could have rotating guides, or you can have a guideless game, because the game essentially is a journey. I'm going to read a line out of the book just because it's the first line in the introduction, and I particularly like it. And it gives this general vibe of the game very well, I think. The road has a song all to its own. Press your ear against my chest, and you'll hear it. And I love that, because the game is all about the journey that creates the world. It's so easy to think that we live in this concrete sort of place, and that is our infinite environment around us. But really, our world is shaped by our experiences. Our world is shaped by the people that we meet. Our world is shaped by the things we choose to engage with, and that's what this game really is all about. There's no combat. There's no dice rolling, diceless, as we said. Everything is resolved with role play and conversation. And what our players will be doing is they will be going on this journey together from place to place, and time will pass. We discussed a little bit in session zero how much time might pass, and we will continue to have conversations about that, I think. But it could be one session in one season and another session in an entirely different season. And a whole new set of stops and NPCs to meet and converse with, things to fill the world with. As we play, we will move through the world, and I will ask the group questions about the world that they're in. What sort of landmarks there might be, what sort of towns, what sort of people live in those towns, what is their culture like, what's their folklore, what are the myths and legends, what gods do they worship. All sorts of stuff to fill out the world and bring it to life and make it our own. But before we can do that, our players have to decide who they want to be. Now, we cheated a little bit. We did this a little bit beforehand, but not completely, because the character building process for Wanderhome is party specific. You are meant to create these characters together. Their lives impact one another. Their relationships impact one another because we are this collective. We will be moving through the world together, so it makes sense that we would have some connections. So we're going to go through the playbooks that everyone has pre-selected, and what I would like you to do is I will name who. Actually, is there anybody who desperately wants to go first? I was going to pick Meg, but if there's anybody who is desperate to be the first out the gate this session.
Oh, that's good. Actually, let somebody else, because I need to either grab the book or have you send. I never had you send me the digital version because we have a physical copy, but you have it.
Oh yeah,
Michael, I'll be happy to go first.
Okay, James.
Like, can you?
Yeah, well, here, Meg. So James, you chose the. Well, here, I'll let
Veteran.
you. Yeah, I'll let you. Go ahead.
I chose the veteran. You wield the blade that must never be drawn again. You are alive. Your care is intense, sober, and mindful.
Excellent. Sorry, I was using the physical book, so now I have to pull up the digital version on my tablet. Give me just
It's
one.
page 104.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
I'm good.
Just
Bring
gonna
it out.
Yeah, it's a really
should've
pretty
done
book.
It is very beautiful.
I think I have a printer-friendly version. Meaning it's like a condensed version. If
It won't focus.
Oh no.
It's fine. The artwork is incredible in the book. I
Yeah.
will say
It is.
the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It is just a really it's a pleasant read. I don't know if all of you read through the introduction and like everything about it. Like
Ragamuffin.
it's just
So cute.
sorry, it's taken.
Highly recommend it. Pick up
You're
a copy.
okay. The entire vibe is very cozy.
Yeah, we're not in a hurry. We'll get to where we need to be in the time that we need to be there.
What's that one Gandalf quote? A wizard is never late.
A wizard
he
is
arrives.
never late. Frodo beckons.
Frodo beckons.
Nor
Is he early. He arrives exactly when he intends to.
precisely when he
Whatever.
means to.
if there's a certain time that he's supposed to be there and he's not there on time, he's late.
He's there precisely
You
when
would.
he needs to.
When he means to be.
All right. What page did you say it was, James?
In terms of book pages, it's 104. If you're on like the electronic version, it might be like 115-ish.
Yes. It is in alphabetical order, so that is quite helpful.
It's the very last playbook. I can
There we
tell
go.
you
All right. So, choose a name and some pronouns.
Sure, yes. My character is named Renaud, and he is a he/him.
Choose an animal.
I chose a dangerous animal because that was one of the options. My animal is a fox. I am a fox named Renaud.
Bonus points to anybody who can cite that reference in the chat,
In the chat.
in the comments.
Oh,
If you do it and you're not James, we'll send you a prize pack. All right. Choose 2 things you sometimes are and 2 you refuse to be.
Sure. The 2 things I chose to sometimes that I am are exhausted and furious. Those are things I sometimes am.
Amen.
The things I refuse to be are curt and terrified.
Love it. There's already a story there.
Mm-hmm.
Choose 3 to 4 to describe your look.
Okay, so most of this is from the artwork that you created. I wanted to keep it aligned. So
I appreciate that.
he has a billowing cloak. He has hidden armor. He has a walking stick, and one of the options is pack of smokes, but I have altered that to be a pipe.
Ooh.
Love it. You have a sword sheathed at your hip. You can unsheath it whenever you want. You must never unsheath it.
Right.
Choose 2 to describe your sword.
So the sword is engraved with a sacred name, and it looks unremarkable unless you know what to look for.
Love it. All right. Choose 1 lesson you've learned and 2 you've since forgotten. Tell
Okay,
the table
so
about them.
The lesson that Renaud has learned is that a friendly old innkeep taught you that a well-made bed can save more lives than an army of warriors, and this is why you must never unsheath your blade. Renaud currently works at an inn and has learned to try and help people that way rather than trying to protect them with violence. The 2 lessons that Renard has forgotten: a royal monarch taught you violence is just a way to maintain control, and this is why you must never unsheath your blade. And Renard saw in the eyes of someone he thought was heroic the fate that awaits everyone who only knows violence, and this is why he must never unsheath his blade.
Love it.
I don't know if they're necessarily forgotten so much as just repressed.
All right. So these next questions pull in our other fellow players. So it's going to be 1 to the left and 1 to the right, which I guess that's kind of tricky because of our particular setup. So
Her setup look like.
Pick one.
Well, I guess we can go off the. So your left,
Relay
James.
would make the
So
most
Meg,
sense.
Meg would be my
Meg
left.
would be your
Caleb
left,
would be
and
my right.
Caleb would be your right. Yeah.
Okay. So to the left.
To your left.
Meg.
So ask 1 to the left and 1 to the right. There you go. Sorry.
That's me.
Yes, Meg.
Yeah.
How do you help me stay in control?
Ooh. Well, I guess to give a little bit about my character, Contessa is a shepherd.
Well, no, hold on.
And-
No. Wait, no. We're gonna do the character thing, the same for each one. Don't go into the character stuff yet.
But how can I answer as her if I don't explain?
You don't have to explain. You can just give him the answer.
Oh, okay. Well, I have an easy vibe and always welcome you to hang out with my herd.
Just hang out. Okay. Then I will turn to Caleb.
What's up?
What do I still need to learn from you?
Ooh.
How to look more towards the future instead of focusing on the present and the past.
Got it.
Good answer.
That's good.
Some things you can always do, and you.
I think we could probably skip this stuff, right?
Yeah, probably.
This will probably just come up during play, right?
That's true.
I mean, I'm happy to go through them, but
No, it's okay.
okay.
I suspect you will know the things you can sometimes do.
Yes,
Some things you can always do.
Yes.
All right. Well, now let's jump over to Meg. Meg, tell us what you're playing. Oh my gosh.
I am playing a shepherd with a herd of chubby bumblebees.
Yeah, read that little blurb there at the start.
Herds of chubby bumblebees can be found across the heath, and tending to those flocks is simple, honest work. You are alive, your care is measureless, watchful, and gentle.
Love it. Choose a name and some pronouns.
Contessa, she, her.
Choose an animal.
I chose a peaceful animal, and I went with a hedgehog.
Because contrary to the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, hedgehogs are super chill.
But I
Sometimes.
mean, chill and peaceful aren't necessarily the same. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So,
that's
like,
fair. Chill is really more of an
Anyway.
action, if you catch my drift. So choose 2 you still are these days, and 2 you're just not anymore.
I am reliable and maternal, but I am no longer young or hurried.
Amen to that.
Yeah, that's just real life.
Hey,
I don't want to hear it.
I'm here for it. Choose 3 to 4 to describe your look.
Well, Contessa has a woolen cloak, as you can see in her artwork. She also has a shepherd's crook that she uses as a walking staff sometimes, or like sometimes we'll need to use it to, rope in a bumble or untangle a bumble out of a tree or something. And then she also has a really sturdy pair of hiking boots because she's always she's on a constant migration path with her herd.
You have a herd of bumbles.
Yes, I
Choose
do.
up to 5 bugs you can always pick from the crowd.
Okay. Barry is the youngest and the cutest Bumble. Those are 2 things, but I made him the same one. He loves head pats, and he's kind of constantly underfoot. So in the artwork, that corner, I think, you can see the Bumble she's got there is Barry. And then the most beautiful Bumble is Belladonna, and she loves to be admired. She always wants attention, and she can be a little dramatic. And then the the Bumble born with 2 heads under the full moon are Beatrix and Bridget, because they have 2 names for 2 heads. They are very imaginative and witchy, and they happen to be born under the full moon of the first Frost Festival. So there's
Lovely.
that.
Choose 1 that stays by your side and 1 that you need to let go of, and tell the table about them.
So I have a handkerchief given by my first kiss when we were both children. And that's my only little piece of nostalgia and connection to the past and the town that I come from and the life that I used to live before I started migrating, before I became a shepherd. So that stays by your side. But I also have an old horn that once upon a time I used to call my bumbles, but now I just don't really need it, and also it needs repairs, so I should really get rid of it.
Ask 1 to the left and 1 to the right. So your left and right will be James and then Anthony.
Wait, opposite of that though. Anthony's to my left.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah. This feels like kind of a counter to the question that James asked me, so I will go to the right first and ask Renard, how did I help bring you back when you felt lost? James.
James.
Oh, God. All right, say it one more time. I'm sorry. I thought you were going left first. You said Anthony's your left. Say left. Go ahead.
You're
go ahead.
right, but then I read the questions, and this one feels like a good counter to what you asked me.
Okay.
So I
great.
wanted to ask Renard, how did I help bring you back when you felt lost?
I think Renard may have been an episode where to solve and some sort of dispute was sort of looking over at his sword or reaching for his sword and just saying that was the easy solution, and you were like, "Where's Barry? Just pat Barry's head for a little bit," and
Get
so
some head pats.
Renard was able to just be like, this was much better, and was able to calm down and resolve whatever situation it was without resorting to pulling his sword.
Okay, Anthony. No, you're good. It doesn't specify that you have to do it in a certain order. So
I got lost in a reverie. It's my fault.
It happens.
So Anthony's character, who we haven't met yet, what did you do that made me trust you with my herd? How did you earn the right to babysit the Bumbles?
Belladonna, the sweet, sweet, most beautiful Belladonna, wandered away because she was searching for compliments.
That sounds like her, yeah.
And she found herself somewhere that she shouldn't have been. I happened to be there because I'm often places that I shouldn't be. And I was able to get her back to you. And from that point forward, you trusted me with your herd.
Oh, that's lovely.
Lovely indeed. Meg, I trust that you will keep in mind the things that you can always do.
I will pat my Bumbles on the head a lot.
All right, and throwing it to Anthony, introduce yourself.
All right. Let me pull this up. So I'm going to be playing a vagabond. And the description is: the world has taken everything from you, beat down on your shoulders, and given you an aching heart. Some people think you're a criminal or a monster, but you know what you are. You are alive. Your care is invisible, cautious, and unimaginably deep.
Love that description. I also love the artwork here. It is of a janky looking possum with a broken arm, and it's just absolutely darling. Choose a name and some pronouns.
So my name is Percival Took, goes by Percy, and pronouns are he, him.
Choose an animal.
Percy is a squirrel.
Love it. Choose two you call yourself and two you staunchly insist you're not.
I call myself a hero and a gentleman. And I staunchly insist that I am not a liar or a thief.
Oh, we've already got such a varied mix. I love it. Choose 3 to 4 to describe your look.
So similar to the artwork by Game Master Michael, I wear a long cloak. I have a deck of playing cards, which you can't see, and I have a hood that can cover my eyes.
Nice. Choose 2 crimes you've been falsely accused of and 2 you're actually guilty of.
So
That's fun.
I have been falsely accused of criminal mischief and grand larceny, but I am actually guilty of cheating at cards and falling in love with the wrong person at the wrong time.
Oh.
Aren't we all? All right. I've genuinely loved the mix so far. All right. Choose one you carry with you and one that's been stolen from you, and tell the table about them.
So I carry with me a piece of a tattered blanket, which was the last thing I have as a memory of my parents. I keep that tucked away in my pocket. Being a little rascal, little squirrel, and being a vagabond, I was a ragamuffin once upon a time. Kind of ran away, found
Good
myself lost.
ragamuffin.
Little ragamuffin that ran away, got lost, and
That's another playbook if you've not played the game before. That's another type of character you can play is a ragamuffin.
so yeah, I got lost. I ran away. I got disconnected from my parents, but I still have my little blanket. And even though I don't know where they are anymore, and I've been off vagabonding about, I do have that to be reminded of them. Maybe I'll find them again one day. And then one that's been stolen from me, a book of magic spells that I had picked up from a witchy crone that I can't read.
That's been
Oh.
stolen from you?
Stolen from
Oh
me.
my goodness, the world just got
Uh-oh.
so much more interesting. All of a sudden.
Ooh.
I won't quite tell you how I got the cards or how I got the magic
The book.
spells.
Oh yeah, no, save that for roleplay around the campfire.
Yeah,
All right.
but I will say that those were that I couldn't read it, but those were that was stolen from me.
All right, so ask one to the left and one to the right. And looking at the game, you've got Emily to your left and Meg to your right.
Yes. So to Emily, I'm going to ask you, what do I still have to do to earn your trust?
Ooh. I think you've broken the surface, but I think you really have to prove to me that you're not a thief. Or what was the other one that you had that
A
you
liar?
a
Isn't
liar.
that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Because for some reason my firefly thinks you're lying to me all the time.
Mm.
Oh no.
He's a little bit nervous around everybody though.
Oh, there's definitely some comic relief there in the like the way that he kind of talks. What's the little fly's name in The Rescuers?
Oh.
Gosh.
That's who I'm thinking of though.
I'll look it up.
Like
Give me
that's
2 seconds.
that's what I imagine. All
I
right.
don't even know what that is.
You've never seen The Rescuers?
Oh, I don't know
Caleb.
what that is.
Oh boy, I can't wait. I'm so excited for you to experience that for the first time. And then immediately follow it up with The Rescuers Down Under.
Correct.
Obviously. That's the only way to
Evan
do it.
Rude, the dragonfly.
That's right. Love him. All right.
To be fair, the Rescuers Down Under is significantly worse than the Rescuers.
I love it. It's so it's ridiculous.
Outside of
it's
Jack Palin.
Yeah,
guy.
it's very
Go ahead.
pretty. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
And then your other question is for Meg.
My question for Meg. Meg,
Or Contessa.
Contessa, why do I call you my only friend?
Because you have not yet learned that you are worthy of having friends.
Heavy.
Ooh.
Heavy.
That was good.
But I keep trying to convince you.
Ah,
Oh.
We'll see if you can.
All right.
So the internet doesn't tear me apart. It was George C. Scott that was the villain in The Rescuers down there. There we go.
I was really concerned that that wasn't correct, and I'm glad that you brought that because that really quieted that voice in the back of my head.
I'm just glad you can focus now.
Yeah, I really like. I wish it was that easy all the time. All right, and that brings us to Emily.
Hello.
Introduce thy character.
My character is going to be a firelight. It is easy to get lost in the darkness and the deep. The firefly at your side will always guide the way. You are alive. Your care is forward-thinking, mutual, and shining bright.
This game probably hands down the best character descriptions. Just love them. Choose a name and some pronouns.
So my character's name is Gwyn Featherfoot. And
They're so cute.
her pronouns are she, they.
All right. Choose an animal.
I am playing a barn owl.
Love it.
It said a nocturnal animal, and I was like, oh man.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Barn owl, easy.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Choose 2 you try to be and 2 you know you can't be.
So I try to be endlessly patient and a good judge of character. But I know I can't be properly feminine or everywhere at once.
What a motley crew.
I'm sorry. I think my brain rejected the words that you just said. Can you say that one more time? Did you say properly feminine?
Properly feminine.
Okay.
She's not a lady.
I have so many questions about the meaning of properly feminine, but
You and I are gonna figure it out together.
I love it.
My interpretation is literally like the going to balls and constantly wearing gloves and never showing your ankles. That kind of putting your pinky out when you're drinking tea.
Don't get dirty or muddy. You gotta stay clean. You gotta be proper.
No running. A lady should never run. You know that Emily Bronte BS.
The proper rules of etiquette.
Some bullshit, some Pride and Prejudice bullshit.
I love that. That's a legit choice that's written in the book.
Yeah, it took me by surprise.
I was grappling with doing the I can't be strong and manly or properly feminine, but then I was like,
oh yeah.
But then I was like, nah, I just can't be everywhere at once, and I really want to be, but I just can't be.
Love it. Choose 3 to 4 to describe your look.
Okay, so on my being, you would find a mud-soaked cloak, and that is spotted with little golden constellations that light up when my firefly gets scared and hides in there. The constellations consist of little holes that I have very meticulously poked into my cloak with my little talons to map out the night sky. I also have a reliable wooden staff, and this will come in later, but I have a little rusty iron lamp that hangs off of the tip of it. And I've also got a book of small rituals that I keep at my side on a little belt that goes around my waist.
Love it.
And one would also notice if they looked into my eyes that they shine and they pierce through darkness.
Sounds like an owl.
Yes. Yeah.
Ever seen an owl without any feathers?
It's terrifying.
Nightmares.
They look like
nightmares.
They look like
just seeing
raw
their
roasted
legs.
chicken.
Alien
Legs for days.
alien poultry.
Birds without feathers in general.
I mean, that's true. Just weird looking little dinosaurs. All right.
Legs for days and weird bones.
You have a firefly, your companion that stays by your side no matter what. They sleep during the day and light up at night. They are luminescent. Choose 1 or 2 to describe how you met.
So I chose two. I found them in a place of death and pain and rescued them. They are dead, and you're not sure that they're really a firefly. And the other one is they came to me in a dream, and when I woke up, they were real. They are oracular, and you're not sure that they're really a firefly. So in my mind's eye, I've pictured that as I had a dream the first night that they were real, and then I woke up knowing that I had to find them, and I found them in a state of disarray and death, and I just kind of helped them, and then they decided to come and travel with me.
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
Choose one light you still keep lit and one that died out long ago. Tell the table about them.
So the one light that I still keep lit is a wisp. He's a small and forgotten many-faced god who is in love with my firefly. And
More
the other-
evidence that he's not a firefly. Just
Exactly.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. And the other one I mentioned a little bit earlier, it is a rusted iron lantern that my mother carried before me, and that I keep unlit on the end of my little staff.
Love it. All
How
right.
come you don't light it?
Huh?
I'll have to ask you that later. I want to know why you don't light it.
Some
We'll have that conversation too. Yeah.
some stuff.
Ask one to the left and one to the right, and your left and right will be Caleb and Anthony, respectively.
So my left is Caleb, right is Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Caleb, why does my firefly like you so much?
I think that he can sense that my character is very broken and he wants to help.
Kindred spirits.
Aww.
Aw. I love that. And Anthony, what did I show you that you didn't want to see?
Ooh.
Well, given the fact that I still have to prove to you that I'm not a thief or a liar, I feel like you, maybe more than anyone, have been a mirror to reflect back the parts of me that I don't recognize about myself. So whereas Contessa is sort of showing me that I am worthy, you're showing me the bits and the pieces of me that I need to be better about.
I'm making you do the hard work.
You're making me do the hard work.
The accountability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say both are hard work, to be honest.
That's
They are.
true. It's a different kind of hard work that takes different levels of emotional stability.
Oh no, emotional stability.
My worst nightmare.
Right?
No thanks. I'm gonna run away.
All right. As I have said multiple times now, Emily, I trust you to know the things that you can always do. Which brings us to the last, but certainly not the least. Caleb, what are you playing?
So I am playing The Exile. The description is your past clings to your shoulders like an old woolen cloak. Someday, perhaps you can return to your home. You are alive, your care is fragile, skittish, and terrified of being broken again.
Choose a name and some pronouns.
So my character's name is Viren Shadowpaw, and his pronouns are he, him.
Choose an animal.
I chose a tiger.
I love the idea of a tiger being fragile, skittish, and terrified of being broken again. Like
Exactly.
I mean-
That's what I was going for.
like the animated movie that this party would make.
It's
This-
so good.
I mean,
Someone get
he's
on that. Hollywood.
He's playing our traumatized cat.
It's the best.
Super skittish. Who will
That's
scratch
true.
when we
That's
get
true. Yeah, you're basically like the bigger version of Leo.
YouTube animators, where you at?
Choose two you are and 2 you try not to be.
I am explosive and damaged, but I try not to be careless and tired.
How do you try not to be tired?
Caffeine.
A lot of faking it, I think.
Masking. That's right.
Masking.
That's exhausting by itself. No, thank you.
Choose 3 to 4 to describe your look.
Hey, so this is kind of going off of the wonderful artwork Game Master Michael has made for me. But Viren is wearing a long cloak. I imagine he also has tattoos and a brutal scar that goes across his throat a little bit and down to his chest. And then the last thing he has is this ornate, fancy pipe that bears the crest of the royal family from his hometown.
Ooh.
Mm.
How we got that? You'll just have to come back to more streams to find out.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna
Once
find out.
you once had a place you called home. It's gone now. Choose one true reason why you cannot return, one reason you tell everyone else, and one reason you worry is the truth.
Okay. So the reason I can't return is because I was banished for going against my town's monarch. The reason that I tell everybody is that I can't remember. That is just too long ago. It didn't happen. Whatever. And then the reason that I fear is the reason why I left is because I betrayed the one that I love.
What
Is
a
that the monarch? Do you love the monarch?
what a lovely little melange that is.
Maybe. I have to
I'll
find out.
find out all your secrets.
Yes.
Choose one you still play and one you can no longer understand. Tell the table about them.
Okay. So I decided that the one instrument that I can still play is a carapace carved horn with a haunting melody said to have been taught to my people and my people alone by the wind gods.
Hmm.
And then the instrument that I no longer understand is an ancient violin that I once spent hours practicing as a kid while waiting for my mother to come back. It's just been too long since Viren played it, and I think he just forgot.
Easy to do. Happens to the best of us. Ask one to the left and one to the right, and your left and right in this instance will be James and Emily, respectively.
Okay. James,
Okay.
how did your character help me when I felt like no one else would?
Hmm. I probably offered you a warm bed, a place to lay your head for the evening, even though you couldn't necessarily afford it.
Good. All right, and then who's the other person? Was it Emily?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Emily, do you miss your home as much as I do?
Probably not as much as you do, because I can go back to mine. But I do have moments where I get super homesick. And I guess we kind of connect on that level.
All right. We have our party. So what I would like to do now is I have some questions that I'm going to ask each of you one question. And you will answer it if you choose. I guess if you don't want to answer it, we'll just go to the next one.
Pass.
And then we will go to a bathroom break. And when we come back, we will discuss how your party came together and why they're on their respective journey. So the questions that I want to ask, and I'm going to go I guess I'll go in order. that we just did the character intros. So we'll start with James. James, what's something that Reynard woke up excited for today?
Would it involve what we discussed as what's going on in our session 0?
It's entirely up to you. It can be that, or it can be something entirely different.
Okay, so assuming that we are okay, so one of the things we talked about in our session 0 is if there's a seasonal holiday where we are, which was the first Frost Festival, which I'm sure we'll talk about more. Assuming that Linald knows that that's what's about to happen, I think he's very excited about the idea of that happening and uncorking of wines and ales, etc., and sharing and feasting with others. He's whenever his mind is one of the things that Renard does, he works at the inn in the town that we're starting in, and when his mind is able to be distracted and focus on helping other people, that brings him joy because he doesn't have the time to think about his past and the things that he's done previously. So he's excited by the idea of having to focus on others today.
I love that. All right. The next will be for Meg, Miss Margaret Alice. Oh my God. Sorry, my thing randomly scrolled. Scrolled further than I thought. Jesus. Sorry. The tablet is being difficult.
That's okay. Technical difficulties is the theme of tonight.
Indeed.
Right? Sorry, got it. Okay. Meg. Miss Contessa. What's the weather like as this new day begins? But more importantly, how does it make you feel?
Well, the first frost appeared overnight. So it is early winter. It's starting to get cold. There's a little chill in the air. There's that slight smell of campfire on the wind. And it makes me feel festive because there's a festival that's going to happen that happens every first frost. And it makes me feel excited because it means the year's batch of mead will be opened and shared around for the night, and my bumbles will get a chance to shine. Yeah, so it's a good time of year, and it reminds me of home when it starts to get cold. So it makes me nostalgic and festive and excited.
Love it. Anthony, what is one thing that Percy notices on the road that catches his attention?
Oh, that's a good one. Something Percy always notices when he's on the road. I'm trying to figure out the exact way to put this. I always notice someone, a person, a type of person, no matter where we are, where I am, someone that thinks they're better than everyone else. I always notice people that think they're better than everyone else.
Interesting. Okay. Emily,
Yes.
what's a small moment of beauty that reminds you of why you're traveling?
Ooh. I think the in-betweens of the seasons, not necessarily the seasons themselves, but those little moments of transition between that lets me know that, hey, I'm still alive and I get to experience all the beauty in the world. And it's consistently beautiful, constantly changing, and that's just how life is. That's how life works.
Lovely. Caleb, what's a quiet worry or concern that Viron is holding on to as the journey continues?
I think Viren is always concerned that he's gonna do something or say something that's going to push people away permanently. Not just for like the day, but forever.
Can relate. All right. So we have started exploring these characters a little bit more. When we come back from our bathroom break, we will discuss how it is we all came together and learn a little bit more about how we're all connected. So, yeah, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Darlings, this is no good. He went out right at the worst.
Oh,
Like
that
I
was
said,
funny.
technical difficulties is the name of the game tonight.
Don't know why it's freezing. I can still see everything else.
Hey, it's all good, you know? It's all good. It's all gravy, baby.
This is exactly why we do this, so we can practice letting go of the things that we cannot control.
The only reason I even disconnected is because I can literally hear you saying that I froze.
It's cozy.
As is the
Yeah.
custom in these parts, we hope you had a pleasant bathroom break.
There it is.
Except for me, I hope it was awful. I'm just kidding.
So this is also something I'm going to do each episode when we come back from the bathroom break. I'm going to give everybody a fun fact about their animal. And since we started with James and everybody else, did you know that foxes use the Earth's magnetic field to hunt? They are
I did know
one
that.
of the few animals known to use magnetoreception. Whoa, that's hard to say. Aligning their pounce with the magnetic north to accurately catch prey hidden under snow or dirt. This magnetic targeting makes their hunting precision remarkably effective.
Ooh.
Sounds like me. Yeah, I get it.
I would like to point out that I don't know this of my own accord. I know this because the two closest people to me are Michael and Katie. So they know a lot of things about animals, especially foxes.
Real life rangers.
Rangers,
I
druids.
knew that because in
druids.
like 5th grade, I did a project on red foxes.
You did?
Mm-hmm. I did a
That's so
project
cool.
on red foxes and wombats separately in 2 different grades. But I have
Nice.
many fun facts about the wombat.
I love wombats too. There is a wombat NPC that we all will eventually meet.
You.
I'm gonna cry.
I love, yeah, they're one of my favorites. All right, so, and we're back.
Wait, are you gonna do everybody?
No,
or just one?
each episode will be a different one.
Oh, because there are 5 of
Oh.
us and 5 episodes. That also makes
sweet.
sense. I was hoping to get a fun fact every time.
I tell you
but
what,
that's
I will
okay.
give you fun facts every time after we end, because
Okay.
I live with you. You're my wife. I can do that.
All the
So
fun fact.
yeah, you get all the fun facts. So
I
what
do get all the fun facts.
what I would like to do now, if the party is willing and interested, instead of diving immediately into fleshing out the world and reintroducing the stuff that we talked to each other that we talked about during session 0, I wanted to focus a little bit on your character connections. Because really, that is a significant part of what this game is about as well. It's not just the details of the world that you're exploring, but it's how all of you interact with it and with one another, because presumably at least some point you will be acting together as a unit, perhaps. I fully expect you all to break off and go your own ways, and at times, perhaps with the role play, but we'll see. So, exploring connections and establishing those connections and getting to know each other's characters, I think will help us to fill and not only fill the world more colorfully, but play in it a little better, for lack of a better word. So, I have 5 questions, 5 different questions, and the way that this is going, I think. I wanted to come up with okay, you can pick the question that you want for your character.
Okay.
Some kind of, well, now I don't. Now I'm second guessing myself, like a white elephant party, but with questions.
Oh, so you can take the question you're given, or you can steal someone else's question.
Yeah. Is that something? Is that I'm curious, what kind of
Well,
vibe? What kind of
Like
vibe?
a white elephant, that's gonna suck for the first person.
Okay. Well, then we won't do that this time. But can we off screen? Can we talk about some interest? Because I don't want this whole thing to just be me asking y'all questions. I want to figure out some kind of fun dynamic to play from.
I mean, if you just want to list them,
hold on.
and whoever if you volunteer to go first, the trade-off is you have more questions to pick from.
That's
if
fair.
you wanted to just do it that way, we could just volunteer.
Do you have a pool of questions, Michael?
I do. I have, yes. Yes. And like I said, I have 5 questions. Five different questions in these different
randomly
groups.
Roll, and then whoever you pick, or whoever you get to choose the question they want to answer, and then ask a question of the next person, or they could just choose the question and you could pick the next person.
Actually, I have an idea.
Okay.
But we're not going to be able to do it this session because it ties in something that Anthony said in regard to his character. We're going to do highest card. So you guys will draw for it.
Okay.
Okay.
In the event of a tie, rock, paper, scissors. So yeah, we'll do that, but we're not set up for that this session, and I don't want to stress about that right now. We have 2 weeks to prep for it for next time. So come back and watch for that next time, but stick around because this is going to be good regardless. So,
what is happening?
Madness. So, yeah, I don't know where mine is. I have cards too, but I don't know where they are.
I still have this from Quiet Ear.
Oh, nice.
And there's cards out here in the living room.
I have several tarot decks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, maybe we use tarot. No, it doesn't work that well. No, yeah, it does. There are suits. Anyway.
Anyway.
So I guess I will ask all the questions, and then if you guys want to choose who gets which one, this first go around, establish the party, the democratic nature of the party.
We can decide together who we would most like to hear the answer from.
Whoa.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so put your listening caps on. Is that a thing? So here are the 5 questions. What's something you noticed about another character recently that surprised or moved you? That's 1. What's a small way you try to make the day easier for someone in the group? That's 2. What's a question you've been meaning to ask someone in the group? That's 3. What's a shared memory or inside joke the group has created along the way? What's something another character did that inspired you, even if they didn't notice? Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh gosh, this is hard. This was a bad idea. I don't know that
Wow.
we can do this quickly enough. Decisions are difficult.
Here's what we can do. If I can set a timer, and if we haven't reached a decision by the timer's end, I will give them
Let's
to
just
you.
go down. Let's just go down the list and start with the first question, which was what is something
What's something
someone.
what's something you noticed about another character recently that surprised or moved you? Who wants it?
I will put forth that my first instinct is to want to hear Viren's answer. I'm interested in what surprises someone who is exiled and can't go home.
I agree.
Ooh, great.
Okay.
If
And
now
we need to have a
I'm
baseline of what. If we know what surprises him, we know what he expects people to be like.
taking the pressure off too. I am also content with taking this. We can decide who gets what question first and have some opportunity to think about them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Because I
do
don't
we
want
wanna
anybody to
assign
feel
and-
they're on the
and
spot.
Continue?
Is that cool? Is that or I'm just trying to read the vibe of the room.
I get the exact wording of the question again.
You absolutely can. What's something you noticed about another character recently that surprised or moved you?
So Anthony, your character is Percy, right?
Yeah.
You were kind of a thief in a former life, if I remember correctly. Is that your character?
Oh, I'm not I resolutely say I am not a thief. I resolutely say I am not a thief.
You have yet to convince me otherwise.
He's a treasure hunter. Okay.
Got you.
It belongs in a museum.
Philanthropist by force. I forced philanthropy on other people.
I am a gentleman and a hero, dagnabbit.
Fucking Robin Hood, man.
I don't know
Um,
where
I
these
think-
wallets came from.
I think that I noticed recently that despite Percy's supposed extracurriculars, as I will put it, he is very noble and selfless in a lot of his actions. Very, very small, though. Very small. Whether it be like a word of encouragement to somebody else in the group, a willingness to help other people we find along our journey. I think Viren would think that's very cool.
I appreciate that.
All right. The next.
He also buys meals for other people if they can't afford it.
Like that.
I feel like that goes hand in hand.
Also worth point if there is some discussion to be had or you feel moved to role play with one another, that is absolutely encouraged. This is a safe space to do that and enjoy doing that. That's part of the fun of the game. No pressure to do that either, though. Basically, what I will do is once we have answered the question, if we're quiet for long enough, I'll go to the next one. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Next question. What's a small way you try to make the day easier for someone else in the group?
I feel like this is something Contessa would do, but I have to think about what it would be because I feel like I don't know these other characters well enough yet.
I also feel like this is something that Gwen would do.
Okay. Do you have an answer?
Not necessarily that regards to the group, but something that regards like the world, I guess.
Okay.
So like in the context of her being a firelight, since her guardian or since her firefly is undead or dead, it can create pathways between our world and like the spirit realm, so be it. So I imagine Gwyn kind of being like a little, like almost a chipper Grim Reaper
Oh,
type thing. Like
I'd watch that cartoon.
she guides more than just the living, you know.
So she tries to make death a little easier for
She tries
people.
to make makes death a little bit easier for people, but also provides a light in the darkness for her friends.
That's very cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. What's a question you've been meaning to ask someone else in the group? Now, also you do not have to actually ask it. If the other person is not keen to have that conversation right now, that's fine. The question that you have is what's a question you have, not what's a conversation that you have. You get
Sure.
no pressure. Either way, loosey goosey.
I
Who
mean-
wants it? Question number 3, hot off the mouth.
We're just all
I-
asking Viren, what's your deal, man?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I was gonna say that.
Oh wait, no duplicates. Everybody answers one.
Right.
No, yeah.
So
Go, gotcha,
I was
gotcha,
gonna say
gotcha.
I have an answer if we're okay. I feel like it's the easy one for me because, like Emily said, we all want to know what his deal is. But Contessa has been is trying to find the right moment to be able to ask Viren about the crest on his pipe. Is it your pipe that has the crest on it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
She's just been meaning to ask him about that.
Okay. Next question then. What's a shared memory or inside joke the group has created along the way?
If we don't even know how we've gotten together yet, that feels like it's difficult to answer.
That's fair.
Mm.
I was gonna say, are we assuming that we have traveled together before, that we all know each other prior to
Yes.
this?
So I guess that is up to you guys, but my interpretation from the structure of the game is that you all this is kind of like a mid-year journey. This isn't necessarily the start of y'all's collective journey, because the idea is to create comfort, and new people is not always the most comfortable thing, especially in new surrounds. So I think that's kind of what the implication is. But I'm also...
So the game is supposed to take place literally on the road between somewhere and somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily start somewhere and end somewhere. It is currently happening.
Which is part of the reason that I wanted to start with this kind of conversation before we started in our first location. So
I know I would like to answer the last question. So I'm gonna skip.
I also was gonna say earlier, there is a default to you can just throw it to me as well, because while I am the guide for the game, I'm also helping to fill in the world as well, and I already have lots of ideas. I'm sure that comes as a total shock and surprise to everybody. And I actually have kind of an inside joke because I knew what Meg's character was going to be the longest. It was about her character, if we are interested. Every time the party, as you guys are on your journey and you come to different locations, I can imagine that this could be something that does happen enough for it to be a thing, but that every time you guys see a hedge, there's like...
Hedgehog.
I thought you were gonna go completely different and go, honey, I'm home.
Contessa, look, hedge.
Edge.
and if you could, the four of you can have your own version of that, whatever that is, every time you see a hedge, or Contessa, every time you see a hedge, maybe you have to take a shot, or like. It could be something that you choose to do every time you see a hedge. The party sees a hedge. Like maybe Contessa has to point out every hedge that the party sees because she just can't help it.
Maybe we just all do. Now.
Perhaps, yeah.
It's
who remembers where it started?
It's the equivalent of like punch buggy, like
We play like count the
hedge, boom. You hit somebody.
We tell Barry to go bump into Contessa whenever we see a hedge.
There you go.
Barry, it's a hedge.
Despite her best wishes, we've trained him to do that.
Hedge,
and he just goes
hedge punch buggy.
So now it's if Contessa, it's a race between Barry and Contessa doing a little Sonic the Hedgehog somersault so as not to get bumped.
Oh, I gotta get that sound effect on a soundboard stat.
Yes.
I can make that happen. I can make that happen.
I'm imagining it a lot like the game we used to play in college, which was 1, 2, 3, catch me. So it's kind of like that. Like she hears Barry's coming, and she's like, no.
Sorry, I loved Sonic the Hedgehog when I was a kid.
Me too.
That game was
Good
deep.
stuff. Good
That
stuff.
was my number one played Game Boy game. Oh, lies. Number one probably was Tetris, but Sonic was a close number 2.
All right. So that Meg, that was your question.
It was not. I answered one, and James wants
Oh,
to answer
right,
the last one.
right,
You
right.
answered this one for
I
Anthony.
answered
and
that
this
one
I gave you
for
the
Anthony,
question.
I guess. Or Anthony, I have a whole fucking ton of other questions. I'll just give you another question. Like,
Yeah, give me another
I have
question.
so many questions.
Give me another question.
But James, you wanted to answer the next one.
Sure.
What's something another character did that inspired you, even if they didn't notice?
I think everything that Contessa does to take care of her flock inspires Renard, that she's able to make all of these lives, even if they're, some might consider them lesser because they're not animal folk, they're just these little bees. Everything she does to protect them and save them without resorting to violence inspires him.
To the bee reference there, something that I have been ruminating on since, starting to think about this game and this world. I very much think that like bugs are the pets and beasts of burden in this world. And their sizes obviously are varied. So I can already see just like, a big like rhino beetle like plow or
One of the possible bumbles in the herd is also the biggest bumble who can be my steed. So
like I can also,
his name's Bull.
like I can imagine like maybe some of the like monsters or the cryptids or the creatures that are scary in this world, even though that's not really what this game is about, like praying mantises. Like I imagine that could be like, they would be like the dragonflies, the most successful predator on the planet, 97% predation rate.
See, there's an extra fun fact. I knew they were in there.
60% higher than a lion. Like if
Wow.
dragonflies were big enough to predate on larger prey, like we'd be in serious
We'd be
trouble.
fucked.
So that's just some fun, spicy stuff that I've been thinking about there. All right.
Like spicy.
I like it spicy.
Spicy.
Why is it spicy? All right. And Anthony, let's ask you a question. Sorry, I have to read these because I haven't read them. So I was looking at another list.
Oh, I'm sorry, hiccuped.
Okay, Percy. Here's Percy's question. Who convinced you to go on this journey, and why did you trust them? Oh, I have. Oh my god, my
Stop it.
head's gonna
Okay.
explode.
Okay. Okay.
We're telling the story
I'm
right now.
sorry. I'm shut up.
All right.
I
You
should
could
have
done both things.
Well, this one, I where's my steel card? Like,
Okay. I'm going to say that it was Reynard.
Ooh.
Interesting choice.
I believe that I have a deep admiration for him. There is something about his character. It might be what he has lived through, what he has experienced, what he has walked through. I deeply trust someone who has lived through battle and
Fair.
and continues to try to be good.
Aw.
And so whatever brought us, however we ended up kind of converging and finding ourselves going on this journey, I can see how he would be the person to convince me, and I would trust him implicitly.
Aw.
So the thought, I love that. I think that's great, and I love that it establishes a connection between the two of you. Mine was a silly throwaway reference because your character's last name is Took. I was gonna be obviously he was convinced by a wandering
Yeah.
wizard. Fool of a Took. Like so, but I love that. That's beautiful.
Maybe I was convinced by Wandering Wizard to go on a different journey.
There will be a wandering wizard. Don't you fret.
I'm fretting.
I was
Don't
worried.
you
So then
fret.
use
I
my
dig
playbook
it.
feature to immediately draw my sword, kill the figure in front of me, and create a new player character.
All right. So we've broadened these characters a little bit and our understanding of them and their connections. Let's continue to do that in regards to perhaps how this party came together. Now I have some questions prepared to ask to help steer that, but I am also super open to if y'all have some ideas that you just want to start rolling with, have at it.
So, oh, go ahead, Michael.
I was just depending on how long we spend here, and this is not to rush anybody. This is just a mark in the page, in the chapter book, that this will probably be the last thing we do, is figuring out how the party game came together.
So we're starting in a village called Providence, is my understanding from
Yeah,
Session Zero.
you will basically be arriving in Providence or have arrived in Providence sometime in the proximity of the next session is what I would think.
Has everyone been through there before?
Contessa has. Contessa is on a very well-trodden migration from north to south and back again with her herd of bumble.
I feel like Gwyn also has, considering she travels around so much.
So I feel like we've all been here for the festival before.
Oh, probably.
I mean, I feel like that would be Renard's weigh in with everybody, is that everybody has at least spent some time in the inn/tavern where he currently is employed.
For those of you at home who've never celebrated the first Frost Festival, the very first night of the festival involves a big toast from the tavern master after he uncorks all the season's mead and other stuff. But mead's the important part because my bees help make it.
Make the honey.
So yeah, that's how we would all know of Reynard as the tavern master who gives the toast.
Well, the sort of odd innkeeper's assistant.
Oh, right. That's right. You work at the inn. It's not you. You're like, I'm not the tavern master. I just work for him.
I just work here. Very big, powerful sort of innkeeper's assistant that's not super great at his job, but is always super polite to everybody.
And he pours mead really well. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, too much, and his boss gets mad at him sometimes. Too strong of a pour.
He gives a little extra to his friends.
What's wrong with that?
And everybody is friends at First Frost.
Pouring extra doesn't make coin for your boss.
Yeah.
Nah, but...
It's First Frost.
It's First Frost.
What's a little mead between friends?
Exactly. Did we answer the question yet? Is that? I mean,
Tell me a story. No, not. I mean, not. I mean, you have highlighted aspects of how this came to be, but not really firmly put the sequence of events together. No.
Right, because I feel we've kind of established that maybe everybody, even though we haven't heard really from Caleb yet, that Meg's character, Emily's character are wanderers. You
Yeah.
have patterns, so
You have said,
you
yeah.
certainly have been to Providence before. Caleb, have you been to Providence?
I have. I have
Okay,
been to
yeah.
Providence before, but it wasn't during the festival.
So
It was
is
during
this
another.
your first festival?
Yes.
Love
And
that.
I
oh,
imagine.
fun.
Yes, and I imagine. Well, my character Viren is familiar with the festival before, but he just never attended them. Essentially, he always usually spent them alone. But I imagine that Viren was kind of one of the last one to join the group. I feel like everybody else kind of already had like a good like understanding of who each other was, but I think Viren was one of the last ones to really get on that journey.
Oh, maybe at the first Frost Festival, like last year's first Frost Festival, the rest of us sort of engaged in a little too much festivity and made a sort of pact that in a year from now, at the next first Frost Festival, we'd set off on the road together.
Ooh.
I love
I
that.
do love that.
Let's
And-
I
take
was
a
gonna say
year,
something
get our
very-
shit together, and let's finally go on this fucking road trip, you
We're
guys.
gonna go on a road trip.
That's right. And that
And
like
it's
Let's just
gonna be
go.
great.
Let's go. We'll
We'll just go.
We'll
at
just go
this
right
year's-
now.
At this year's first Frost Festival, Viren made his first appearance at the festival. This is the first time he'd ever shown up for the festival. And we're just like, have some mead. And it was more than Viren had ever really had before. And we're just like, hey, we're going on a journey. You want to come too? And
I like that.
the mead did its talking, and now you're on the road with the rest of us.
On that same strain, I feel like I didn't tell you guys my firefly's name. Their name is Kindle, short for kindling.
Oh,
Aw.
cute.
Yeah. So on that same strain, keeping with that train of thought, Kindle, upon seeing Viren, was like, friend, and then went up and immediately started like nuzzling into him.
Oh yeah,
So the
that's
question then is, what made you decide to spend this first Frost Festival not alone?
Ooh. It was Kindle.
Well,
mean-
where would you have met him? I thought you would. That's how he got brought into the group where we were already meeting at the festival.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
and
What made
he's
you
at the
come into
festival for the
Providence
first
festival?
time.
Yeah.
Well, I remember James said that his character offered me a bed.
Right? Oh, yes.
So I
Okay.
imagine that Viren has been to the town before, but again, not during the festival.
What
And
if
I s-
your volunteer seasonal work for like the additional for the festival crowd?
Maybe I
Like
got
a-
to talking. James,
Yeah.
what's the name of your character again?
Mine, Renard.
Renard. I get to talking to Renard, and he's like, "Well, if you ever need work, if you ever want to come back, we do a festival every single year to celebrate the first frost. You can come by, get some free drink, get some free food, work a little bit, and I think that's what got Vera to join."
So then, is your exile like a recent thing, or is it like older?
Mm-mm.
Like you
Mm-mm.
done been out?
Yeah, done been out. We're talking
Okay.
like
I mean,
since
because
I
as
was like,
far
very
as
young.
we know, because we just met him, what he tells everybody is he doesn't even remember because it was so long
That's
ago.
true.
So that's all we know is that he don't remember. It was so
Yeah.
long ago.
Right.
We never really set ages, but I imagine Varen is a lot older.
Yeah,
So
I
he
figured
sees
if y'all would
Yeah.
feel that out as you're playing, because sometimes that you set. You know what I mean. Then you'll feel it. You'll know.
I think Contessa is still hardy, but she has a good number of years having done this path, like 15, 20 years that she's been providing mead and doing this same migration path. So she would have been very familiar with Providence at this time of year and would have been supplying mead for the toast for many years.
Like Gwen is kind of young-ish. Like she's just gotten into the firelight business from her mother. Hence the lantern. But kind of wants to do things her own way. And that's why she doesn't light the lantern.
Oh.
Yeah.
Funky.
Yeah. She really should get it repaired, but the time hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
Percy's definitely youngish. He's a youth.
Youth.
A pesky little youth.
The youths.
Oh, darn youth.
Oh, that's
You young
why
whippersnappers.
Contessa is so nice to him. She feels maternal toward him.
My lawn.
Get off my lawn. You
What did he
sound like
say?
one B.
That's why Gwen's like, I've got your number, mister. We're like the same age. Get out of here. I don't trust you yet.
Shut up, I know you're kind.
Little F boy. Get out of here.
Whoa!
Not a little F boy.
I mean, a
I'm
lot
a gentleman.
lot of talk about rabbits, squirrels, not far from it.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's usually the sound they're making.
I didn't want to
Also,
know
I
that.
know he said cozy vibes, but the rating is not PG. So
Hey.
whatever you like.
Cozy can have all
Cozy-
sorts of meanings.
Yeah, cozy and adult can be in the same Venn diagram.
That's what I'm
cozy-
saying.
my
That
cozy
just because
is
the vibes are cozy
adult.
doesn't mean you can't say fuck boy. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I know. You can say it for me.
Okay, anytime.
Having worked in a dog daycare, I definitely have met dogs that I would consider fuckboys. Like they were just there to hump. That's all they wanted to do there. So like, yeah, like I bet it's like that in the wild.
That's the misperception about me. I'm not just here to hump. All right?
I'm here to
I'm
hump
not
and
just
steal
here to
shit.
hump.
Oh, I hope J Dragon
Oh,
sees
shit.
this stream. I really do. I really do.
Mon Dieu.
This is the best game of Wanderhome ever. All right.
If you have to profess that you're not just here to hump,
I'm not
you
here
may
to
be
hump.
here
No,
just
you're
to
doing it right.
I'm here to hump. I'm
Sure.
here to hump and steal shit. That's my vibe. But I'm not a thief.
hump.
Not a thief.
Couldn't.
Stealing hearts, not wallets.
It is not
I'm
my
just a
fault.
little chaos goblin.
All right.
I can't help it.
Look, it's not my fault that I always win at cards, and I might steal a heart or
I
two.
can't help it if you're like totally obsessed with me.
But if you
Look,
want
they
to be,
agreed to play with
it's a
my deck.
tail.
I don't know why, but
Beautiful tail.
I just wanted to win at cards once.
One time.
One time.
I'm curious if Percy does that squirrel thing though, where they're really animated for a second, but then they're like,
Oh, absolutely.
and then they get back to it, and
That's his hedge.
like the.
Maybe that's what
That's
it is.
that's
Nicholas' little
Percy's
nose with
thing.
my feathers.
That's Percy's
I
thing.
love it.
Hedge.
He has their own thing.
I
and
think
you
that's
never
it.
know which
Yeah,
of us
you never
Barry
know.
is gonna go after. He's gonna like try and get you. If you're not
You
doing your
all
thing you're
have
supposed to do.
You've all trained Barry to headbutt one another.
Each other.
Whenever
If you're not,
No.
if you're not the one that notifies Barry of the hedge, you're at risk.
Whenever, so it's whoever sees the hedge first says it, and that's how Barry knows to hit somebody else.
Yes.
It's usually Percy.
if Barry comes out.
Because he freezes and then Barry just runs
hysterical.
Fair.
Okay, so
You just can't help it. What?
I have 5 categories of questions. And what I want to
Okay.
do now is I will read the categories and you choose the category. And whatever category you get, that's where your question will come from. Savvy?
Okay.
Savvy.
All right.
Abby.
And this is, again, pertaining to how we all came together. So this is continuing that conversation. The categories are serendipitous meetings, common purpose, bonds and
Ooh.
origins, whimsical encounters, shared beginnings.
What was the last one?
Shared
Shared beginnings.
beginnings.
Ah. I kind of like whimsical encounters.
I think I want the serendipity one.
6.
You had 5 options and you rolled a 6. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Michael randomly pick somebody.
Oh.
Wait, Meg, what did you say you wanted?
Oh, we'll just start. Yeah, and then
Yeah, if nobody
so-
else minds, I want the serendipity one.
All right,
Do
so Meg, your category is serendipitous meetings, and
Okay.
your question is, what unexpected moment made you realize you'd enjoy traveling together? And this can be in relation to any one of your party members or as the party as a whole. I'm also content to ask the questions, let everybody think for a second, and then come back.
Well, I think that there's one built in already that we kind of mentioned, which would be when Belladonna got out. You know, there's that story, very similar. I think that story fits the category as well, but because it was not mine, I'm going to make up a new one also. I think Gwen, there was a similar sort of thing happened with following Kindle,
Mhm.
following Kindle off to play with some of my bumbles, and then just like watching them out in the field, just having a great time and being youthful. I was like, yeah, she can tag along. That's fine.
Oh, look at him! He play bows. Oh,
No.
look at his tail! Look at that!
Play dead. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
It's not. Let me be clear. I think I need to clarify though that it wasn't just Kindle
right.
playing with the bumbles. It
Mhm.
was Gwen following Kindle and like playing with them all.
Like when you see a good,
essentially.
dog
Like a-
parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for her it would have come off a little more because Gwen is younger and she's very maternal. She would have seen like a kid playing with puppies,
Ah.
and it would make her
okay.
very, very happy to have that youthful energy around. So
Interesting.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Emily, I believe you wanted whimsical encounters. Does anybody want to vie for it? All right.
I did mine.
Oh, that's too easy.
I like easy. No, that's what she said.
Oh,
Who told a tall tale that turned out to be true, prompting curiosity from the others?
Turned out to be true.
So this is actually a really good point for me to mention something that we talked about in session 0, but that I neglected to bring up this time. And since we are introducing folks to the concepts of this game, this is one of those games where we make decisions and we lean into them. We yes and. The no but is always an option, but we try to be considerate of one another's ideas and try to be considerate of one another's comforts. So if you're trying to play this kind of game, make sure that you've had those conversations in the periphery to make sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes creatively. Continue.
Excellent.
Okay, can you repeat?
Excellent thing to point out, because we, as a good time to remind everybody too, that we do session zeros before each of our
Yes.
tracks, but because of the topics about boundaries and comfort, we keep those private. But we do have them before every single.
Oh yeah,
track.
I am a staunch believer in that if you're going to be playing a game together for an extended period of time, obviously one shots are one thing, but if you're going to
And
be
we still do
playing,
them for one shots too.
and we still try to do them for one shots. I would say that there's
Yeah.
occasionally, there's always some kind of session zero.
Yeah.
So that was a fun little session zero tangent. Back to you, Emily.
Do you, is the wording of it that I tell what the lie was, or was it just?
It's up to you. Who told a tall tale that turned out to be true, prompting curiosity from the others? I guess you could just name that person and leave it at that.
Technically, that would be
technically
answering
that
the
that satisfies the question, and I can't begrudge you for it.
Okay, but I have a tale to spin.
Then do
It can
it.
be you. It can be you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tell us
It's
the
just
story
who.
about how one of us told a tall tale.
The question just asks who. You get it? Do you get it? Do you get it?
But
Do you get it?
excuse me, that's racist.
It is a little bit. I'm sorry. I apologize. Barn owls
I
don't
mean,
make
That's what
that
I was
sound.
gonna say when he was talking about
Species
manuses all
is.
being villains or
Well,
some shit.
I didn't say villains. I said monsters.
But like as the the
Monster.
cryptids, I mean, I guess that's
That's
true.
not
If you know
evil.
you
No.
love
Mothman's
you love
not
monsters.
evil.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're just
That's true.
they're intimidating.
Just scary.
yeah, like that's that. Whoa, look what?
Misunderstood.
It's arms or swords.
That's true.
This animal is 5 animals.
Anyway, I think that Renard picked up on the fact that Percy was counting cards and or cheating at cards and told the group, which caused an investigation between the 5 of us, being like, is he actually? Quick, someone watch from behind while I play this hand of cards with him. And it turned out to be true.
That I was counting cards, cheating?
That you were cheating at cards.
Okay,
Somehow.
maybe I should lay this out. I have a magic deck of cards.
Oh.
Never
I don't do anything. It's not my fault I always win.
That is the wildest yes and of the night.
It's the cards, man.
That's what they all say. That is what they all say.
I love
It's the
it.
cards.
I love
It's
it.
the cards, man.
Oh my god, I cannot wait
So-
to start role playing.
In
Renard,
this case, the tall tale is so dubbed by the 3 of us that we're being told the tale because it seems ridiculous that he would be using magic cards or some, I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
you wouldn't have expected him to be cheating.
Ma-
Like that was like so.
Right.
He's our friend. Why would you?
Sure, he would never cheat,
He would
and
never
turned-
cheat when it comes
it
to
turns
us.
out to be true, but in
Renard's
a
just-
dramatically ironic kind of way where we don't know because we
Mhm.
can't tell.
Watch me, and my technique is flawless. I haven't done anything sleight of hand. And
I-
yet,
I really
And
can't.
yet,
I really can't help myself because of, again, it's the name, and I apologize. And I don't because I'm going to keep doing it, and if you keep doing it, it's not really an apology. There are many magic decks of cards in the world Percival took, and none of them should be taken lightly.
Jesus. Great.
thank you. Thank you.
I imagine during this whole scenario, Renard is just watching Percy handle the cards and just like starts slowly drumming the pommel of his sword as he notices what's going on.
He's using the Earth's electromagnetic field to determine that he's
Yeah, there it
cheating.
is. There it is. Yes.
Yeah, there's like
All the while-
slight changes in the magnetic field that he can feel that none of us can.
That's the
All
magic.
the while
I'm
going-
telling you, I love it.
Just
His
suddenly
technique
is
is
like,
flawless. How does he do it?
Elsie, unless you want me to grab the handle of this sword, I would perhaps come clean on your game. And that's everyone doesn't believe Renard until Percy comes clean.
I imagine that despite Percy's winning, he always shares the wealth.
That's the thing. I use the cards for good.
You're
What
Like,
they all say.
it's some Robin Hood vibes. It's some Robin
It
Hood
is
playing
vibes.
like
Percy's
around
excited
the
about First
campfire
Frost.
against each other. What are you? How are you
Percy's excited about First Frost because Percy can find people to play cards against.
There you go. There
And
you
Percy
go.
likes to find people that he knows think they're better than everybody else and just need to be put in their place.
And
And
then
then
he
Percy
uses the
buys
winnings
rounds of drinks for his friends.
exactly
I-
to
Yes.
bring need for
I love
everyone.
that.
That's how
I
we
love
end up
that.
getting. We end up getting together in that
Exactly.
last First Frost thing. Is you guys were all playing cards and Renard's just like, he's cheating, right?
Yeah, 100%.
James, you like a professional brought that back to how the party got together. That's so impressive. Well done.
Renard wanders over with the tray of drinks and just like observes for like a minute. He's like, he's cheating you all. You realize this, right?
Why would you be cheating us?
Well, this was like at the last First Frost festival when
Somebody
we
else,
first
yeah.
got together and we're like drinking and you all were playing cards and I'm just like, he was cheating you, this.
Used before he was with the party. He joined up
Correct.
last festival too. So
Correct.
2 new followers joined last time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
Well,
then
we all kind of decided last year that we were going to meet back to
Right.
start our journey.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
We've known each other
After-
for varying lengths
Well,
of time and may have traveled
after-
together for small stints, but we haven't started as an entire group until now.
Yeah.
Well, James, since you piped up so beautifully there with getting back to
Sure.
our core line, the categories that are left are common purpose, bonds and origins, and shared beginnings.
Let's do bonds and origins.
Love it. Who helped someone out of a tough spot, earning their trust?
That's a tough one. Sorry, this is a tough one to think about for a second.
That's okay. No
Um,
apologies necessary, my friend.
Take your time.
Mon ami.
Mon ami.
So maybe when we assembled here at our second gathering when we decided to set off on the road together, despite Percy's string or his magic deck, he'd run into a string of bad luck in terms of trying to gamble. And was short on coin for drinks, and Viren, who was newer to the festival, was able to spot him for a drink or two, and that's how he sort of was brought into the this sort of group here on a more permanent basis. He came through and spotted him some coin when I was just like, I cannot keep serving you drinks. But he came through and was able to make that happen.
I adore that.
So two things that I pull from there that I'm really curious about. Like, one, when Percy plays cards with not his deck, is he really bad? And two, if someone else uses Percy's deck, do they get the same effect? Or is it exclusive to Percy? Is
I think it's
Percy
gotta be
attuned
Percy.
to it?
I think
One might
I mean,
ask.
if I'm answering this question, I think that it's only good in Percy's hands because it's not just the deck; it's a combination of the deck
And the
Percy's
user.
own charismatic skills
Mm.
that
I
allow
have
it to be successful.
Invented an entire lore about these fucking cards now. Great.
Everyone else, they just function like regular cards.
Yeah.
That
Right.
otherwise
And-
everybody would be able to figure out his secret.
And cannot
right.
tell you how much I love Percy being just really bad at cards otherwise. Like that is absolutely priceless to me. Okay.
100%. So if you switch my deck out, I'm fucked.
Yeah. All right. So since we have spun it back to you, well, it's you and Caleb, right? So the two of you can decide between the two of you. What's left is shared beginnings and common purpose.
Caleb, what are you thinking?
I'd like to do the common purpose one.
Perfect.
I think
shared
that makes more
beginning.
sense for you because you don't really share a beginning with anybody being in exile.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Caleb, do you want to go first?
Sure.
I feel like you will enjoy this one. What's a story, rumor, or legend that all of you are curious about?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What's this? Okay. So, I imagine that there is this tale of a forest not too far outside of our current location where every night on the first night of the first frost, there are bright shimmering lights that float through the forest. And depending on who you are and what your journey is, the lights are going to whisper a different secret to you. But the trick is, these lights aren't easy to find. And there's only a handful of people who have claimed to have actually seen and gotten their own little message from these lights.
So we're all getting drunk and going looking for lights. That's what's
Can I-
happening.
Can I
maybe.
spin this
Maybe.
real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, get in there.
Yeah.
I have a will-o'-the-wisp that
Yeah.
follows me around because they're in love with my firefly. Is that one of those
It
lights?
could be.
Is the firefly
be.
or the will-o'-wisp?
Yes. I'm not entirely sure that my firefly is a firefly,
Right.
but I know that my will-o'-the-wisp is not a firefly.
Maybe somebody notices it and is like, hey, that kind of looks like the lights in those forests.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have got so many ideas. Love it. All right. Anthony.
Okay. Common purpose.
No, shared beginnings.
Shared beginnings.
Oh, yeah. I wrote down Caleb's answer in the wrong slot. Shared beginnings.
Oh, that's too easy too.
Michael, we like easy.
Easy is good.
Easy's good sometimes.
I think this one suits Anthony. Because that's another thing about this game and playing it with friends is that, I don't know. I don't have a follow up to that.
It's customizable.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
kind of know what each other's styles are and what your
You
friends'
finished the answer for me.
creativity are
Just-
like.
That's exactly how the game works. I love it.
Yep.
All right, Anthony, here's your question. What strange or unexpected object found its way into your group, becoming a symbol of your journey?
Strange or unexpected object found its way to your group, becoming a symbol of your journey. A broken compass.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm
Does
not
it
sure
say all
how.
who wander aren't lost on the
I'm
back?
not sure how maybe how we got our hands on it. So maybe some of you remember how that happened. But what appears to be a broken compass that would not move, would not change no matter what direction we faced. It would not move, and then there was a point when we were all together where it started to spin around and then give us a direction to follow.
Ooh. So is that what tells us where we'll go?
Possibly. I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Maybe it is rumored to be able to point you toward the lights, the fairy lights in the forest.
I probably won it in a game
Yeah.
where I was magically cheating at cards and thought I got this dumb broken compass, and then all of a sudden it starts acting pretty.
If my wisp is around, it goes fucking buck wild.
Yeah.
I love that answer. That is, again, y'all are killing me with the ideas here. Yeah, that's. I think that's a good spot to put a bookmark. How are we feeling? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Awesome.
Excited.
feel good.
So this has been our first session of Wanderhome. We have met our players' characters. We have learned a lot about them and how they've come together. And next session, we will go to the first location, the first place that we have kind of prefabbed a little bit in our session 0. And I think, and this is something I was going to discuss with everybody, but we kind of talked about it in session 0. I think from that point, each session from there will be about a different festival, right?
Mm.
A different time of
Can be.
year, a different place, a different time of year.
Mhm.
One of the other big things that this game calls on is kith and kin, characters in the world, NPCs that you all of your characters have met and know, or are related to. So I would also ask for next session, think about that and come up with an NPC that could be waiting for you when we get to our next location. Does that sound good? All right. So yeah, I think this has been a dynamite session, y'all.
Yay.
Not all who wander are lost, and not all who rest are done traveling. Until next time, may your paths be gentle, your heart stay curious, and your wanderings bring you closer to the stories waiting to be told. This is Grimstone Gaming. You can check the socials at the end of the session. Good night. Never stop playing. Bye. Oh yeah, I'm the one doing it.